Alrighty, folks. So here we go. I got this guy as an interview today. That's Chris Barnes. See, I'm going to mess with him because I'm going to periodically keep pausing and forwarding this video of his as a blues singer. That's what friends do. I'm messing with the guy because I love him, admire him. And man, we go back. Anyway, it's Chris Barnes, Scranton native, who then branched out across the planet. Comedian, businessman, actor, blues artist, musician. The guy does it all. So I'm really impressed by him. But we go back, to the early mid 2000s, I think was his first appearance in the WNEP backyard. I barely knew the guy. He was a guest scheduled to promote a local charity. And boy, did we hit it off. And I think was even misled to think that we're going to be buddies when in reality, I was just one of his many characters in his web of intertanglements with the world. So I love the guy. He's the kind of guy I want to hang around with all the time. Does it seem like this is over fandom here or man crush stuff? So we're going to talk to him. Chris Barnes, local Scranton guy. I want to find out where he came from, what he's all about, and what he's doing now. How's he handling the pandemic? And he was on Seinfeld. He was in various movies and TV shows, sitcoms. I got to find out all about this. I'm curious. It seems like, as a matter of fact, I need about 2 hours with this guy. Let me watch this. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. Stay tuned. Here we go. Chris Barnes.
Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.
Joey, baby!
I can't believe this is happening.
I know. Things must be really bad if you need me to bring up the ratings.
No, I admire you. It's a problem I have. It's a man crush. I'm embarrassed of myself. You know that.
Listen, you know what? As we draw near, more is revealed. More is revealed. More is revealed.
I want to let you know, here's the plan.
Okay.
Because don't be offended. You're an old guy like me.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, this is going to be an audio podcast, right?
Yes.
That's going to go out to the WNEP world and the world in general. But then there's also going to be a video recording, everything we're doing now. So we have to the video recording is going to be on our WNEP 16 YouTube channel.
Great.
So somehow we have to be audibly entertaining and visually entertaining. But at the visual part, the audio people can't ignore. So what are we going to do?
Just go with it. We'll be fine. They'll get it.
I mean, this is recording now. This is the beginning.
We're so old. We think that's a problem. That's how old we are.
Exactly. Now, do you know? Could you see my monitor? What's behind me here?
I can. Oh my God! What is? Oh, that's my video.
Yeah. So just to mess with you through the course of this interview, every now and then I'm gonna go like this. Watch. I'm just gonna let you play.
Good video.
And then I'm going to get a different view of you. So let me say, I'm going to stop right now. There you go.
That's a
Looks
star.
like a rock star, right?
That is a real rock star, man. Wow.
All right. So I think.
Great.
Yeah. What? Sorry.
No, this is great.
Are you East Coast now or are you West Coast?
I am right now. I'm up in Connecticut. I'm up in the apple orchards of Connecticut.
I like the star. Well, then here's my, now wait a minute. I don't like the boot. Go back over there. What's with the boots just left there? You think you'd clean up the place knowing you're going to be in front of everybody.
No, that's what do they call the what closet? The mud. That's the mud step.
And
that's where I walk in a job.
And whose cat is that? I don't see you as a cat guy.
No cat, dogs.
No, that's a dog over there.
That was, I have two of them. That's Romeo. That's little Romeo. Oh, and this is Dominus.
So
now, come here.
Does your dog qualify as a foo-foo dog? I'm seeing a little foo-foo-ness there.
These are teacup poodles.
Teacup poodles.
And I love these guys.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Life changers.
Well, let me show you a real man's dog. Are you ready? I'll be right back. This is Jet. This is what a real man's dog looks like right here. You see that?
Oh yeah. If you were the father on Frasier. Yeah.
That's right. Right. But I think what we should do is start like with the history of Chris Barnes, because I'm not
Okay.
this. I need to know the whole thing.
That's true. We've never had an interview.
We've never had an interview, and all these. I said I don't even know if we would can be considered friends, because I think you're my fake friend. You have so many acquaintances and big shots. I'm like one of your little fake friends from your little hometown area. And deep.
I'm going to say, let's save this for, are we broadcasting now?
The whole time is going to be recorded. Yeah.
Okay. Do you edit or you just keep it going?
We keep it going. This is raw, beautiful, and natural.
Okay. So has it started?
Yeah, the whole thing I'm going to put up. Yeah, the whole damn thing.
Okay. So come here right now. Get over here. Come here. Come here.
You're bossy. You're bossy to those pets.
Get over here.
You're
Get over
barking.
here.
You're bossing them around. You're like,
Get over here, little buddy. This guy's a killer. If he gets on your neck, here's the thing about the friend thing. Are we real friends, fake friends? I don't even like friends.
Oh.
See, I don't even like people. I don't like anything wrapped in skin. You know what I mean? Say I'm more spiritual. No, you are my friend. I would definitely consider you a friend.
Oh, I
Definitely. Let me put it this way. If I came to town,
Yeah.
I would definitely call you and say, get the wife, let's go to dinner.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I'm impressed. Yeah, but if you were hanging around with like Belushi and
I'd still call you.
and then you saw me and I waved hi, you'd be like, I don't know that guy. You know, it'd be one of those things.
No, I'd say, I know that guy. Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, something like that.
I'd say, Belushi, move it. Keep moving. Let me tell you. Let me tell you how I was first introduced to you, which is very ironic.
I don't know that. I don't know
Exactly.
that.
Well, for the local people, let me tell you something. It was a big time national introduction. I did not be introduced to from anybody from Scranton. I did not know who you were. I never heard of you. And one day Life with Bonnie was on ABC. Life with Bonnie Hunt's show was on ABC.
We're going back to what year here?
Oh God. I don't know. You'd have to look it up.
2003, 4, 5, maybe somewhere in there. I'm thinking early 2000.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe. And so we finished, to put up a show on a network, you don't know what's going to happen. You do the pilot first and you wait. Maybe it'll get picked up. Maybe it won't. It usually doesn't get picked up. So Life with Bonnie, we did the pilot. It got picked up. So then you don't know if it's going to go. So we taped 5 shows and then it came to the Thanksgiving break and the executives from ABC came down to the stage and there's a liaison between the show and the executives.
Okay.
And they go, Chris, the executives would like to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, I'm fired. I'm out. And I go over, I go, and they go, Chris, how are you? We just want you to know we love what you're doing here at ABC.
Oh.
Well, then I want jelly beans in my green room. So they go, we understand you're from Scranton. I go, where's this going? Where's this going? And I go, yeah. They go, well, our affiliate in Scranton is WNEP TV. I go, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you grew up.
And they go, well, there's this weatherman. and wait, that's not true. It's not. I not heard of you. My sister Pat, when I got on the show, she goes, you gotta meet this Joe Snedeker. He's hysterical. He does the weather. Everybody's automatic description of Joe is the weatherman in the shorts out in the backyard.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I got them on, by the way.
Which isn't fair because there's much more to you. Not a lot more to you than that, but there is a little bit more to you than that. So I go, so they say to me, there's this weatherman in Scranton and really funny. We think you two would hit it off.
Yeah,
Now, this is
here. Wow.
dude, this is Hollywood executives. They know the Snedeker.
That's weird. That's bizarre. That's flattering.
Well, you're on people's radar, my friend. So I go,
But yet I'm still here and you're there. All right. Anyway.
well, you know what? In this day and age, if we're anywhere, this is great.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Right.
We're at the breathing is a big deal stage. So to be employed is amazing. So I go, so that's great. So this was put together from ABC, Hollywood, and WNEP TV Scranton, us meeting.
So they wanted to promote the show through this big ABC
That's right.
Eastern PA affiliate, and why not start with us because we're two homies?
Well, and they know numbers. So they must have done the research, said this guy's hot out there in Scranton.
I see.
This Snedeker is hot.
And I was a little nervous because management said, oh, now we have to have this guy come in. He thinks he's a big shot and he's a big ABC star. And I'm like, oh.
All true, by the way.
Now I have to be fake on TV and pretend I like this guy who's coming in and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you were nervous.
I'm nervous right now. Because you and me, I think we're alike, at least in this way. We know how to turn it on and do the bit.
Yes.
But yet most of the time we don't want to do anything. Like I'm a little bit of an introvert, just leave me alone kind of guy.
Well, I'm watching a lot of documentaries about comedians now on on YouTube and stuff.
Right.
And it's very interesting seeing like the ones that turn it on and the ones who are just who they are. Like Bonnie Hunt, what you see on the show, she's that 24/7,
Right.
Like she doesn't drop down into, I don't want,
Okay.
But I do. I think I drop it down a little bit more into like, okay, that's enough. I know when to turn it on. But you know what? That's not true. I think I'm pretty much how I am right now.
We're silly and goofy all the time. I get that.
Yes.
Is there like an awkwardness in front of the real world? There's something that I can't put my finger on.
Well, I think the question is there a real world, to us? To us, we're like, okay, for example, here's a perfect example. When I did Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So Jeff Garland called me and he said, listen, because we were both in Second City together. He goes, I'm on this show with, I go, yeah, I know the show. And he goes, what? I got a great part for you. Why don't you come in and read with Larry and let's see if it happens. I go, great. So you go over, I'm sitting there out in the office and he comes out and he goes, okay, here's the deal. The scene is, Larry, you've met him and he knows you, but he's going to pretend he doesn't know you. And you're trying to remind him where you know him from. So I go in, I do the audition and I go, hey, don't I know you? Anyway, it goes great. I get hired. I come back and now we're going to improvise that same scene in a location.
Yeah.
It's called Chet's Shirt is the name of the episode. So they're looking for a shirt and to dress their waiters in their new restaurant. And the guy goes, they're looking for shirts. And I go over and I go, hey, don't I know you? And he goes, I don't think. I go, yeah. Well, where do I know you from? Do you go to the spin class down on the promenade? No, I don't go. Oh, I know. You're a friend of Bill's. AA? He goes, no, I don't go. I go, hey, I get it. And he goes, no, I'm not. And I go, where do I know? I go, what's your name? He goes, Larry David. I go, Larry David. Blore. My name is Blore. Yeah. I know, we have the same dentist. He goes, oh, okay. So I go, now what's happened in the episode is that dentist called Larry David's wife and said, why don't we go to dinner? Just like you and I just said earlier.
Yeah.
And Larry David goes, I don't want to go to dinner with my dentist. No, tell him we're out of town. So I run into him and I know him from the dentist. And I go, well, when I see him, I'll tell him I ran into you. And he goes, so now he's caught. He goes, nah. I go, what? He goes, he goes, no reason to tell him, what, And I go, really? He goes, yeah, it's so trivial. And I go, oh yeah, trivial. I like that. Why tell him? He goes, why tell him? Like, yeah, trivial. So now I'm bringing this back to you and I. You know, I mean, it's buddy, trivial. Is it really important? You know, I mean, really, all we're really trying to load up is who's going to be at our funeral. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We just really want so there's nobody there. We got to at least know some people. But
there's a lot of thought of death in my life anymore too. I'm like, as you get in your 50s and 60s, you're thinking about it more, and I want to stop it, but it's there. I can't stop it.
No, I don't think, I think, I mean, there's so much, I mean, how much can you get out of a person? You know what I mean? It's like, what is it you want? And I don't really want a lot out of anybody. You know, that want area goes into the show business stuff. And that's kind of, ambitious and not real. It's kind of, you know, it's this phony business world where you're trying to move ahead and make connections. And at this point, you know, I'm like, I'm even done with that. It's like, either you want me or you don't. I really don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not a bad place to be. I'm with you.
No, it's not. And then like, for example, I do a lot of shows up here in Connecticut at a great club called Black Eyed Sally's. I had Clarence Spady come up and play, I think, like 4 times. Then we have a party here the next day, and a lot of the people that drove up or family, or we have a little barbecue out here, and everybody comes. So now there's a lot of men that I've never met or sort of met, blah, blah, blah. They're friends with somebody. And somebody really has to impress me. And impress isn't the right word. Somebody really has to be on a level of non-need for me to go, oh, this guy's cool. You know,
yes.
I can hang out with this guy, you know, because by the way, I have my only real, you know, real friend, John Murray, Bill Murray's brother. He's like I've known, we were roommates in 1979, 80. We were all bartenders at the same place.
What does that guy do? I'm not familiar with him.
Well, he was in a movie called Moving Violations. We wrote together.
So
we
he's
did
kind of an actor too.
He's a little bit, but now he's, you know, they have the Murray Brothers clothing line. I don't know if you've seen that.
That doesn't sound like Bill.
The clothing line?
Yeah, like why would he do that? The guy is a wonderful mess.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just they are real golf heads. I mean, he's a serious. I mean, he plays with Mickelson and not Nicholson. Mickelson, is it a Mickelson?
Yeah, no.
He plays with one of those guys all the time. He's in the pro-am, celebrity pro-am.
And it's a business venture like all.
Well, Caddyshack. Caddyshack is their movie. Brian Doyle Murray wrote Caddyshack. They're real golfers. Now, see me, I'm not a golfer.
No, me neither at all. I get bored after like the first hole.
I get it. You hit the thing like 3-4 times and it goes in a hole. Really?
What I like to do, though, is stay on an arc in these interviews, so I have to back up and pretend we're starting again. Where did the sperm and egg meet that made you? That was in Scranton? Are your parents from the area? Where did all that happen?
My parents are from Southside. They're Southside Irish. And
where'd your mom and dad, what do they do for a living?
Well, they're passed away.
Right.
My father was a colonel in the Army, and my mother used to sing on radio, and they went to high school together, and they got married in Southside, had a house, and they had a house on Cedar Avenue. And then I had my sister, Mary Lou, who became a Rockette. And then we had my sister, Nancy, who was a nun, and that Marywood fire, I think it was like the 50th year anniversary, just like 2 weeks ago.
I didn't know you had a nun sister.
Yeah, she's no longer a nun, but she was a nun for 20 years. Yeah, she was one of the nuns that jumped out the 4th floor window, one of the 7 nuns.
How do you leave the nunhood?
What's that?
How do you leave the nunhood? Did she discover a man? Did a man
Divorce is very popular. I mean, 50% of relationships end in divorce. So, you know, Jesus wasn't, you know, it wasn't there. And they're still friends. They talk every morning.
He seems like an easygoing guy.
He's absolved her.
Okay.
So
3 sisters and you?
What? No. And then I have a 3, Pat, and I have a brother, Jeff. My brother, Jeff.
Jeff.
Yeah. Oh, he's he's like a really nice guy. Like he has tons of friends from high school that he's normal. See, Joe, here's the bottom line. We're not normal. See, my brother's normal. He has friends and they hang out. They've been friends since teenagers.
I got some of that though.
But they're normal.
Yeah.
We're not normal.
So you're like, this is like stereotypical Northeastern PA Irish, big family, probably no contraception. I mean, no.
Oh, no.
They're just boom.
Well, but now listen, I don't mean to say this for sadness, but there were actually 8. We had a set of twins that died after birth, and I had a brother that was hit by a Scranton transit bus on Cedar Avenue in front. I wasn't born yet, in front of my mother and my sisters.
My goodness.
Yeah, he ran down the steps out and a city bus. So, so that was trauma. I mean,
but I think maybe back then it was like, okay, we lost one. Let's go have supper. Maybe a little bit more like that.
Yeah. And
where now it's like every child is the Christ child.
And like right here were the shoes he wore and, bronzed.
Yeah.
So it's like, can we move the boots? Do we need the boots on the kitchen table? I mean, every morning, do I have to be reminded of this tragedy? I mean, I'm sad. It was my brother. It's a horrible loss.
Yeah.
But can we take the boots off the frickin' table? You know what I'm saying?
Are your siblings or your parents? I don't get this. Like the natural, you're a musician, you're a comedian, there's creativity, there's talent. Where did this all?
Joe, we've never had an interview. You're a very good interviewer.
Oh,
very good. My parents were dancers. They were ballroom dancers. And they were like world champion dancers. My father's in the military. My father's like the big band guy dancing with the wife with the, Bing Crosby, White Christmas.
Yeah.
I grew up in that environment. And he had all his army buddies would come over and they'd all sing a cappella, their army. Like that was it. Like they were like wild and like, swingers and like out there and, just like, doing it. You know what I mean? Like they were nuts. They were fun. So they danced, they taught dancing. My father, they taught dancing over at the Progressive Center in Scranton. They taught him over in Bellevue. I mean, they were socially active. They were community active. And so they were always dancing. And then it was my sisters, Mary Lou and Pat, that were Rockettes in New York City. And that was my introduction to New York City and like it.
Well, how do you
my sister Pat, go ahead.
How does that happen? How do you just go from, say, being in Scranton to being a Rockette? Is there a number of steps or do you just try out?
Yes. Well, you're very good, Joe. There was a dance studio in Scranton called Sutton Ramoff. It's above Sheely's, like 4 flights up. And they produce more Rockettes and more American ballet dance. Oh, yeah. Legendary. You're going to start getting calls about them. Sutton and Ramoff, they were 2 gay men before anybody even knew what gay was. And they were like, and they were loud. I mean, like they were not hiding it. You know what I mean? Like the shirt was open and they were very effeminate, they were Fosse. They're all like Bob Fosse, everything was this, And that's how, and so we had these dancers over at our house. We lived in Park Gardens, again, very community. And, so we had Thanksgiving, Christmas. Pat, she would bring all these dancers, girls and boys. And I would say like, why does that boy talk like this? My father goes, don't you worry about why he talked like that. Just if you ever see anybody making fun of anybody who talks like that, you set them straight. We don't do that.
So this is progressive thought for, when is this, 60s? Yes. I don't know. And this is pretty progressive for him.
69, 7, yeah. But they were part of the Scranton Ballet. He was like the president of the Scranton Ballet. They were extremely active in that. So then, as a really young kid, I'm going down to New York City. I'm going down to Radio City Music Hall and watching my sister up on the big stage going, I'm going like, I like this energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my sister Pat.
Never mind all those legs going like this, right? That probably had to move you a little bit.
Well, that show, it was the Christmas show, so there was a ton of different stuff. There were singers, it was like, there was funny bits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was always, this is going to be a great interview because I'm actually doing this in my own life right now. Like, how did this all happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going like,
think of it as therapy, not an interview. It's therapy.
Well, it is. It is, but it's like, because I'm going like, how did I get here? And am I okay? Am I okay with how I got here? You know what I mean? And so she took me to Catch a Rising Star on the Upper East Side, and that's where, you know, that's where Seinfeld, that's where all the comics made it out of. But at that time, it was David Brenner, it was David Say, it was.
So you're there and you're like seeing all these big shot.
15 years old, and I'm drinking rum and Coke, which is, you know, it's like, you know, like New York's hip, man. Hey,
So do they kind of take you in and say, hey, kid?
Oh, totally. Totally. Arm around me. Sit down. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. So there was a bit. I can't remember the guy's name. And I have it here. Do you remember the comic? He used to go on the Tonight Show and he'd go, da 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 da. Remember that guy?
I don't know. You're shaking something. Might be before my time. I don't know.
Well, you'll Google it, and
what do I Google? Da 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 da, and the hands are moving. Everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have his name. I'll find it.
So he loved you.
So that was so I would imitate that in front of my and I killed. Now it's not original, but like anybody else. But that's how it always starts with kids. Oh, you're playing the guitar. Oh, he's good. So this is the reward system.
Yes.
So by the way, because in psychology, they say that as an adult, you will use the mechanism that you used to win favor with your parents or any situation.
Wow.
So that's your modus operandi from a childhood, whatever that was that got everybody to go, okay. So you know, the smart kid. Oh, come here, little Johnny. Did you tell them about, you know, neuroplasticity? Well, Bonnie, what happens is that
and if it's a negative thing, that could be a horrible outcome, right?
You'll stay away from that.
Oh, that's amazing. Right. So,
because see, I didn't feel smart intellectually. Like, you know, like say, you know, I would get words wrong or what do you think? And I go, I don't know.
Well, what kind Well, what kind of a student goes with all this? When you go back home and you're in school, are you taking chemistry and physics?
No, I want to get out.
You don't like it. Troublemaker? Are you smoking cigarettes? Are you doing the left hand?
I'm doing this. I'm the funny guy. I'm cracking everybody up.
But you're getting by. You're not like.
But listen to this. So when my sisters are taking dance classes at Sheely's, Joe, you're a good interviewer because now it's all coming back to me. When my sisters are taking dance classes at Sheely's, my father owned, it was called Ed's Diner, but it's called the Clover. That was on the corner where the newsstand is across from Papa's, North Washington, and whatever that street is where that Sheely's is on, that's on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know the area, but I can't picture the diner.
Well, downtown.
The building's still there, so he's an entrepreneur now.
It's not there. The diner, I don't think the diner's there anymore, but it was right there in the corner. You know, across from Papa's, but on the same street as Sheely's and that there. So there was a music studio on that street called Set to Parish, and on North Washington was Janetti's music studio and Gallucci's music studio. So I would go in there and look at the music, and then I started taking drum classes at Janetti's. And then I would go and wash dishes at my father's diner, and I would play the drums on the cans and the big soup cans. Okay, so I was taking drum classes while my sisters were taking the dance classes.
You're 15,
from
16,
Janetti's to Gallucci's, and that's no, dude. I'm 8.
Oh, okay.
I'm 8. Okay. So my first, so I'm talking about the reward system in the entertainment.
Yeah.
So we put a band together in 2nd grade. Mark Mulligan on his sister's 12-string Spanish. He couldn't play the guitar.
Mulligan.
John Noon on his sister's ukulele. He couldn't play. And we played at 2nd grade, and I got a drum. I'll send you the picture. I got a drum set, and we played at 2nd grade. We were allowed to bring them in. We played Batman, and we played There's a Kind of Hush. There's a kind of hush all
Over
over
the world. I love that song. Who is that? Tom Jones?
Right?
That's not Tom Jones.
It was the Herman Hermits.
Really?
Herman Hermits. Yeah. And then that was it. So then I met like Philip Hitt, like 4th, 5th grade. I was in bands. 7th grade, I was playing where the post office was in Scranton. I think now it's the post office. Right next door to that, which is now like the federal building, that was the Hilton Inn. And in the basement of the Hilton Inn was a club called Napoleon's Retreat. And my sister Pat was dating Joe Swift, who was the general manager of it. And so he was always over at our house in Park Gardens, and I got the drums and I played and I'm da, 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 da. And so he says,
so you're on a launch pad with all these talents.
I'm on the launch pad. So we were playing
system.
We played, I was playing at 14, 15 years old. I was playing in taverns in Scranton.
Now you have Herman's Hermits. Who had the lovely daughter? That's their song, right? Was it Mrs. Who?
Mrs. Jones, you have a lovely daughter.
That was the Herman Hermits, right? They had a lovely daughter. All right.
That's right.
So, but in high school, you get by. You're getting grades.
High school, I'm just wild. I'm just wild.
You're wild. How are you? Are you a troublemaker?
Here's how. I did wrestle in high school, but in Scranton, there's 2 groups. There's the jocks, and they're really good. I mean, you really have to be proficient in that area, but and I was really good, but not good enough. And or there's the party people. See, as people know or don't know, I haven't had alcohol since almost 28 years or something like that.
Right, there was.
But I drank really hard.
So
I started early. I listen. At 15, I was drinking a quart of beer every Friday and Saturday night. At 16, I was drinking a 6-pack every Friday and Saturday night, and maybe a quart of beer. I was grounded most of high school because of this behavior.
Well, we can stop right there because I want to tell your listeners and our viewers the same thing. I tell my kids this in the 70s and 80s. You're a little bit older than me, but not much. That was like
I was born in 1959.
Okay, and I'm 66. That was like the culture. It was everything around. It was like Native Americans now. It's just you drink, you drive, you go out. It's all around alcohol. Thank God that's changed.
Dude,
that was culture here.
Listen, I speak a lot as a recovery guy to young people and artists, communities and whatnot. And I tell them, the heroes, we had these great basketball players, these great baseball, these great football here, and they were very high. But really the most popular guys were the guys who could drink the most and hit the hardest. Like TJ Schmidt from North Scranton. Holy God, this guy, I saw him hit. I remember one time we were at the CYC, me and Brian.
Drink a case of beer.
Hey, W. Divine punched Tora Tanaka at the CYC at the wrestling match. I saw it happen. That really happened. That was the biggest story in town. Not that another guy was got drafted by the NCAA.
Yeah, drinking and sports. You're right. That's our Thank God that's
well, has it? I don't know. I'm not there, but yes,
the younger generation now. Yeah, they don't worship alcohol like.
But you have to admit. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, like at a St. Patrick's Day parade, really not our finest moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean,
So were you like taking SATs? Were you saying I'm going to college? What were you thinking?
Let me show you how I took every test that had a pencil and an oval involved.
Here we go.
Yep. Da 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 da. Joe, I didn't care. Listen, here, I'm going to be very honest with you. I would look at Joe. I'm telling you the truth. I'd look at the teacher who'd say, you're flunking. I'd say, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I'm failing an F. Okay. But let's really think this through. Failure means you see me again next year. Do you really want that? Because I don't care. I don't care if I move up, move down. Do you want to see me again for another whole year? They go, you're right. D-. 8th grade. That's how listen, here's the deal. And now to give some artistic creativity to this story. The truth is, once I saw stand-up comics at Catch a Rising Star when I was 14, all I wanted to do was get to New York City on a bus and get there.
And that was with the dance connection with your sisters, correct?
That's right.
So
but I wanted to.
You're graduating in June. Where are you in July?
I graduate June 14th. Have a graduation party. June 15th, I'm on a March Trailway bus to New York City.
Come on.
Yes, and moved in with my sister June 15th.
But are the parents like, are they
concerned? Go. No, go. But see, but you understand, but listen, but this is important because my parents are the ones who, when my sister Mary Lou wanted to be a rockhead, it was the same age. You know what I mean? They went to college, actually. My sisters graduated from college. And then they said, we want to audition for the rockhead. My sister Mary Lou lived in New York City before any of us, alone in an apartment. So my parents were used to this, what would that call? This sojourn.
Yeah.
Rite of passage. My sister Pat went to New York to do it, so leaving home, my sister left Scranton to tour with the American Ballet in Beirut, Lebanon, when they were, taking hostages. So my parents were aware of that, but they were always like, follow your dream, follow your passion, follow your art. Plus my father's going, because I remember one time saying, hey, there's this college in Boston that that might be interested. And he was like, not happening. Just, and I was like, good. I just want to check with you on that too. But it was like, it's obvious. If I had a shot, it was going to be at the disappearing figure thing.
Don't you think, I always bring this up, parenting in the 70s and 80s, maybe 60s, 70s into the 80s, was a little bit more free range then. They were kids, just go, get away.
I never even talked to them.
Bubble wrapped. It's over bubble wrapped. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. It's terrible.
Joe, no, to a fault, no influence, to a fault. Like I wouldn't mind, like now, I wouldn't mind my father going, by the way, righty tighty, lefty, just anything, My father drove me from Park Gardens to St. Paul's, 7th and 8th grade,
okay,
to Bishop Hannon, freshman, sophomore, junior high school year, every morning. Joe, on my mother's grave, from when we got inside the car till he dropped me off, not a word was spoken. You know what I mean? Nothing.
My dad was the same way. So they never.
His mind was in his, what's he got to do this day? Yeah, and my mind was like,
they were just trying to survive. They're not worried about what we get in calculus or what we get in chemistry. They're just like, okay, get through this.
My father, and again, I'm not, and we're not whining about it.
No,
it worked for us. By the way, what the hell was he going to tell me?
Yeah.
What was he going to, he looked at me and go, what do I know? I'm trying to get by. You do what you do and you get what you get. I don't know. What do you want? You want answers? Here, go to New York at 17. You'll find answers.
But there's definitely merit to that type of parenting that I think is gone now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Oh, please. Here's the problem, Joe, and I'll probably get crap from this.
No.
But because I saw it, because, and I'm speaking as a manipulative young child. I told you how I got my grades. Do you really want me back here? Yeah, smoke and mirrors, So once you give the kid the option that you feel like you would be guilty if you didn't do this, they own you.
Oh. Whoa.
You know what I mean? Like once you go
letting that sink in. I'm letting that sink in.
So in other words, if your kid said, hey, Daddy, I want to go to the Britney Spears concert in Madison Square Garden, and our father would go, get in the room, You're
it,
14. Right? You're not going to, oh yeah. Oh, okay. I'm going to get in the car and drive you to New York City so you can see a girl dance that you can see on TV on an MTV. Forget it.
But now do today's version. Here we go.
Dad, I'd like to go see Britney Spears at Madison Square Garden. I'm going to give you two versions. The father will go, you know what, honey? I just don't. I have a business conference that week, and I really don't think I have the time, let alone the finances to make that happen. Here's what the kid does. All my friends are going. Their father made time. Okay. Their father took out a loan to get more money. It's all right. Okay. And the father goes, all right, you know what? Yeah. Okay. If you leave a door open, they're going to go in and they're going to get what they want. And and as soon as you turn away, they go score.
Yes.
And I'm not saying everybody's kid's a brat, but I'm saying every kid's is a brat.
And entitled.
So today, as a matter of fact, it's worse because now let's go to now. Because let's say that was like a 5-year example. Now it would be, hey, Daddy, I want to go see the Britney Spears concert at Madison Square Garden. Hold on. Jerry, do you know somebody at Madison? They want, let me see. Wait a minute. That's a school day. We'll take school off.
Yes.
Jerry, I need tickets from, you know what I mean? Because they want to be the guy who says at the lake, Jerry got tickets for his kid to go to Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I did. I made a call to you-know-who, and I got the tickets.
Yes,
it's all ego feeding. It's all ego feeding. Everybody wants it now. Because of this, Facebook, everything. Everybody wants that.
And maybe we can't maybe we can't stop that arc of progress, if you want to call it progress, but that's where things are going, and that's where they continue to. They're on that track.
Well, there will be enough is enough. I think as a matter of fact, I think we're closer to enough is enough.
The pendulum's starting to swing. It's right here and it's going.
Yeah. And also I think it's a natural progression, and I think it's going to be a natural calm down. I think it's going to be a very mature sense of, you don't want to be that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think the future father's going to go, Dad, there's tickets. I want to go see Britney Spears. And you want to go, the father's going to go, do you really? You really want to go see Britney? I mean, hey, remember we saw that thing about the young girl who spoke at the White House and did the poetry thing? What? Let's go to the soup kitchen instead. You know what I mean? I think we're going in that direction.
That would be nice. But this is why guys like
only to brag about going to the soup kitchen, but I digress.
But maybe this is why guys like you and me, and maybe we're just old guys complaining about the youth, have more grit, have more integrity, more honesty, more appreciation.
Hence why we have no friends. Because who else has that? Oh, you know what I mean?
Here's an impersonation. If I called my dad when I was in college, I went to school 3 hours from my home. If I called my dad, I'll do an impersonation of him. Yeah, Hey, Dad, could you pick me up this weekend? I want to come home and visit the family, and maybe you can come and pick me up. We'll go out to dinner, and I'll see you this weekend. Here's his response. Who is this?
Exactly. That's right. And by the way, as if we would ever even ask that.
We never would call. That wouldn't even be an option.
Dude. Listen, when I would come home from New York City every year at Christmas, I'd shop Christmas Eve day in New York City, fill up bags, get on a March Trailway bus. The bus would go into March Trailways on Lackawanna, across the Radisson, where the Irish bar, that's where it used to be, the March Trailways. And I would take a cab from there to Andy Gavin's bar across the street from the prison. I wouldn't immediately go home.
You wouldn't even go.
No. And I'd have a few drinks, and I'd get home.
And they wouldn't even know you were on your way home, right? They didn't even know you were on your way home.
They did that. My mother did, because I loved her. She was my friend. If you want to know who I had.
The dads back then were more like military sergeants.
My mother was the Scranton Irish O'Boyle's, cigarette smoking, Four Roses whiskey on the table. The only roses on our table was a bottle of a half gallon of Four Roses. You know what I mean? She was like that. yeah,
Did your mother do this line to you? Your father loves you? Because your father didn't tell you he loved you. Your mother had to say your father loves you. Did you get that one?
No, she knew, she knew. My mother's relationship between me and my father was this: don't hit the head. Not the head, Marvin.
But
not
he
the
didn't
head.
tell you, but he didn't
By
tell
the way,
you.
Joe, are you kidding me?
No, the dad didn't say that.
I literally once said to him, "You hate me, don't you?" And he goes, "Yeah, I hate you." I was on Terry. I threw an egg at a car, and the kid knew who it was me, and he told his father. His father called, and my father took me to the house on the porch, made me apologize, cleaned the car, and it smacked me in front of the family. The father's going like, geez, he was a little league baseball coach, and while my father turns, the guy goes to me, "I'm sorry, I had no idea." He was crazy, you know what I mean? And we're walking to the car, and I go, "You hate me, don't you?" He goes, "Yeah, I hate you." Now, another kid would have trauma with that.
Yeah.
Me, I just use it as part of an interview.
But Barnesy, I'm afraid now that we're going to get too much in philosophy and we're going to run out of time. I want to know about all these accomplishments, how you go from being an actor and starring in all these sitcoms and then being a business actor in a blues artist. We can't skip all that. So how do you take that turn now from
It's very easy. It's very easy. It's a hop, skip, and a jump because the decision was made at 15, so nothing's ever changed. So now it's just the list. And here's the list. Go to New York, get on stage, catch a rising star, start doing this stuff. I'm tending bar at a very hip rock and roll underground SNL hangout bar. I meet the Belushis. I meet the Murrays. Everybody likes, I'm still that guy. I'm still funny. I'm crazy. I'm wild. I can drink like a monster. I go toe to toe with everybody.
And
I'll jump over the bar.
But what do they say? I can get you in. I can do this.
It wasn't even that. You don't even talk like that. You just hang. You know what I mean? And they go like, yeah. So well, in a way. So then I meet Belushi and we're hanging out. And I did some funny things, and I did a rap, and I used the rap of taking songs of TV shows, the first thing old Jed's a millionaire. The Ken folks said, "There's a story of a man named Brady," and I did that as rap. Well, the first thing old Jed's a millionaire. The Ken folks said, "Jed, move away from there." They said, "California is the place you ought to be," so loaded up the truck and we moved to Beverly Hills. That is, And Belushi goes, "That's genius. Write that," because I can't get a piece on the show. I wrote it. You can Google it. Belushi doing that rap, not the Prez rap, this rap.
Oh, really?
And it was live from New York. It's Saturday night. That was it. So now Saturday Night Live likes me. They like, Jim loves me. So I'm starting to write little things for him, and I'm getting in scenes.
And you're still bartending or whatever?
I'm still bartending with John Murray. John Murray and I become Bill Murray's brother. We become apprentice. There was a title called Apprentice Actors, which was a glorified extra. So we were in all the scenes, but we were there every week. But you're there. So then Belushi gets on the show. Belushi's on the show. And then I go, "Listen, I want to be on Saturday Night Live." And Jim Belushi said this to me. It was the funniest thing I ever heard. He goes, "Chris, I'm John Belushi's brother, and I want to be on Saturday Night Live, and I'm on Saturday Night Live." You know what I mean? He goes, "You know how hard it is to get to here and even get a scene on?" He goes, "Why do you think you wrote?" That's how desperate I am. So he goes, "I'm going to tell you what I can do. I can set you up with Second City in Chicago, where I started, where Bill Murray started, where my brother John started. That's the route." This was the first time. That was the first real direction I ever got in my life. Fatherly direction, friend direction. That was accurate. Because I remember my sister Nancy, who was an educator, the nun, who later became a teacher and whatnot. I remember we were driving home to Scranton one day, and she said, I'll never forget it. She said, "You're so funny. It's a shame there's not like a school that you could go to that grooms this." And that's what Second City is. They call it the Oxford of Comedy. So I go to Second City, and I just shoot through the ranks.
So you just say, "I'm going to Chicago now," and that's it. You go.
I go.
But that
you have to have that.
To just do
yes, but if you don't have that, you have to have that.
So you're on a bus by yourself and you just go.
Go. Left the New York City apartment, the job. I bet you just go. You make a call. Who's there? Harold Ramis said, go to this hotel. It's a transient hotel. That's where everybody goes. You know what I mean? And then you take the classes. You get started. Again, wash dishes, 10 bar at Second City. Taking the classes, auditioning, da-da-da-da-da. Finally, you get in.
Are things like happening now? You're in these movies and sitcoms. It's about blah, 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 blah.
So Second City opens in L.A. I go out to L.A. with that company. Carol Burnett comes to see the show. She goes, I'm going to be doing a variety show. I want you to come audition. I go audition. I get hired.
But what do you mean Carol Burnett just says that? You're talking to her? Is it like, hey, Carol, I'm going to do this? Like, I don't understand.
Carol Burnett and a group came to see the Second City Theater live show.
And you stood out.
And afterwards, they, as you know, they go backstage to meet everybody. You get the pictures taken, sign autograph. That's what every Broadway show, the actors at a Broadway show, they have another hour, 2 hours up in their dressing room meeting people that have come to see the show. That's like standard. You know what I mean? Like I met Mel Brooks. I met Carl Reiner. I met them all Robin Williams. I met them all that way. They come back. They say, we love you. You're great. You know, it's just a courtesy, you know. So I did audition and I did get the role on Carol Burnett. That was going great. Da-da-da-da-da. You know, so I just kept going up. Then the show ended. I got on Seinfeld. I did I did all these, you know, other shows. And then I just drank too much and I had a bottom. And that was it. And I was out. And then I had to get sober, you know. But I hit bottom.
So could you say if that drinking thing, I didn't even know about that. If that didn't happen, could the arc have continued in a more positive direction? Maybe?
Yes. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's
you have these demons. You have to fight these demons.
Yeah. Well, you know, and see, that's the problem because then you go, all right, you know, and there's a lot of sober guys that are mega movie stars and mega successful.
Yeah, and they still have the issues. Yeah,
that's right. But I made a couple of bad, and one was moving back to Scranton. You know, I mean, like that was really not a wise choice because I remember
that's when we met, though.
I know. But we met when I was on ABC. We met when I was on Life with Bonnie.
Before then.
Yeah.
But so, when you're my question is, when you're doing like Life with Bonnie and Seinfeld, and you're a guest, Richie or whatever the character was, and without being too personal, is there like a lot of money in that? Like, how does that? Here's 30,000. Here's 50. I don't know how that works.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. When I was on Carol Burnett, I signed a 5-year contract. Actually, it was a 10-year contract. I was making $100,000 an episode.
Really?
And my contract by year 5 or 6, had we been going, I would have been making like $1 million a year.
So now, as a component of the show, because I don't even know what you mean. This was Carol Burnett.
I'm an actor.
But I thought that ended in the 70s.
Yeah, but I'm just giving you price figures about, you said how much money, right?
No, but for the Carol Burnett, what was that? Her show?
Yeah, the show I was on her variety show.
But I thought that ended in the 70s before your time.
No. 1990s. She did a remake on.
That's my fault.
See, you know what? You didn't do your research.
I do the Larry King approach. No, I
was on Carol Burnett's cast.
Oh, okay. That was the reboot of that show. Okay.
Yeah, 1990, 91, something like that.
Well, why didn't you stick with that?
It got canceled after a year. Oh. And you know why it got canceled? What? There were a bunch of little jerks that's parents liked them too much that made it unbearable for her to come to work every day because they were such whiny. And she goes, I don't need this. That's the truth.
Political correctness, you mean, or what?
Yes, just not even correct. Just me. Just a little too much me.
Get out.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. Anyway, she was great. It was great. And on prime time, that was a 1-hour show. That's why. But a sitcom, yeah, you're making, you're walking in, even at the lowest, 30 grand a week. Then up to now it's not like it used to be, but you're 100,000. I mean, look at what the Friends characters are making. By the way, by the way, just so you know, I auditioned and went to the producers. I made it all the way to the top for the role of Kramer on Seinfeld. I went all the way to the top.
You're a great Kramer.
Dude, I went all the way to the final for the Friends for that role that Matt
Schwimmer.
Not Schwimmer, the other one, Not Ross, the other one.
We got them all.
No,
Ross, remember?
not Joey. The good-looking guy.
You made it all the way to get him, though.
Yeah, I still have the script. What was his name? Matt Chandler.
Oh,
The role of Chandler. I was in the same room with him waiting to go in for the audition. Do you know how close I came, dude?
So in life, a lot of times it's just these one man's decision, maybe a flip of the switch, and your life could have went so much in a different direction. Not that it's better or worse.
Seconds and inches.
Seconds and inches. Was Jerry Seinfeld a nice guy? What, did you interact with him?
Yeah, I auditioned for him. And here's a great story. It says in the script, I knew one of the producers from it was a Second City guy. And it says Kramer enters, right? And then the lines. So I have the thing, but those kind of stage directions, you never do in an audition. You just sit there and you read, you know. So I go to read, and Jerry Seinfeld sitting in a director's chair with the sweater tied around himself. And I go, you ready? And he goes, yeah. And he's staring at me. I go, what's the problem here? He goes, aren't you going to enter? And I look at the producer guy, I go, enter? I'm going to enter. What, do you want me to walk out of the office, open the door and walk in? It's an audition.
Yeah.
I'm going to read. Meanwhile, that was the bit.
Kramer enters.
That was the bit. That's it. His whole career was based on that entrance.
But did they know there was an entrance involved, or he made that entrance?
It was written into the script.
And you didn't see that? You overlooked that? You didn't?
I saw it, but you never do it. You never do a stage. If it said he throws a glass against the wall, you're not going to throw a glass against the wall in an audition. They go, what are you, nuts?
Yeah, but being this creative powerhouse that you are, I thought you would do that.
Well, I should have. That's my point.
That's unbelievable.
That's my point. I should have.
And was he like this pompous overlord, or no? Just a nice guy?
There's no difference, you know. And by the way, like right now, I just read his book, and you know, I've learned more about comedy writing. Right now, I'm writing my third album, and but this is all original stuff, and it's all satiric and funny lyrics, which is all writing is. And I've learned more about that in this past year from Jerry Seinfeld, because he is such a he's just a professional. And that's why he wanted me to walk in. He was right. I was wrong.
I got it.
You know? By the way, I was out drinking till 4 a.m. the night before the audition. You know what I mean? Jerry Seinfeld was home in bed. You know what I mean?
Yes, I love it.
So that's the difference.
Was Life with Bonnie your last shot at a sitcom, or am I being ignorant?
No. That was I was on that series.
Yeah.
I've since done like 30 Rock. I did an episode of that.
I know all that, right? But that
I've done. But yeah, that was my big thing. But you know, I get a call, you know, every once in a while for an audition from somebody who who goes, bring Barnes in for this, you know. So I still have some cachet a little bit. But I'll tell you this, Joe. I used to say that
Ray Donovan, Homeland, Bull. I see all these things on your IMDb.
I used to say to all my friends, you know, they go, why? Like, for example, why you have an audition tomorrow? Why aren't you home? And it's like, look at guys, the point is not to get on a sitcom now. The point is to get on a sitcom when you're 60. That's when you want to be on a sitcom. That's when you know what to do with the money. That's when you know how not to be a jerk on the set. That's when you know. And I still say that, and I will, my biggest accomplishments are yet to come. I will be on a primetime sitcom. I will be in movies again. The biggest portion of my career is yet to come. And I've always said that. This
is why I idolize Chris Barnes. The torpedoes, the always positive, the glass is full.
Listen. Remember I said, you know, I wish my father would have told me things. He just didn't have it. You know, I learned what Jerry Seinfeld wrote in the book. It basically has nothing to do with entertainment or art. It has to do with concentration and a set routine. He writes from 7 every morning to 11, every morning, no matter what. And that's what you do. You got to program yourself to, and that's not easy. because that's habit. You have to form that. I wish I had a father or somebody or a mentor who taught me that in 77. But it's just like Dorothy when Dorothy says to the wizard, why the hell didn't you tell me I didn't need to bring back the broom? And you know what he says? Glenda, the good witch, you know what she says? You wouldn't have believed me. And Glenda was right. Dorothy wouldn't have believed her. And if my father said, you got to wake up every morning at 7 o'clock and write till 11, I wouldn't have believed him.
Yeah.
See, it's all there. You just have to watch The Wizard of Oz. It's all there.
Well, based on all this, do you feel that it's, and I have to watch my word usage here. Do you feel it's,
you can't hurt my feelings.
No, not yours, others. Is it a slightly, not wasted life, but a shortened life, a less adventurous life for the guy who works 30 years for the federal government, teacher, whatever, and then retires at 59 and then goes to Myrtle Beach and his life, and that's it. You're not that guy. So what's wrong with that?
No. That guy figured it out. That guy figured it out because what he did was he said that relationship is more important. And work is only a means to create the home and the surrounding and the environment for that. That's real life. You have real life. You have a wife, kids, like Jackie and I, we're partners, but we're entertainers. You know what I mean? Like we go, should we have kids? And we go, we have these. You know what I mean?
Because it's not there the whole time. The dog.
It's not.
But Chris, would you want that if you could flip a switch? No. You can't be that guy anyway.
No. I would end up in jail. Nobody would like me in the neighborhood. I wouldn't be invited to parties, and they would call the police and the firemen on me every Friday night. No, it's not for me. It's just not for me.
Not for you. I was just reading the bio of Gary Oldman, and here's a guy, 4 or 5 wives, had drinking problems.
Yeah.
And I always just pictured them. He's the stoic, perfect actor, but yeah, he's got all these issues too.
Oh, please. It's one or the other. And the thing is, and here's the truth. The truth is, Joe, you're tapped to be something. The guys you're talking about, they were tapped to be husbands, fathers, working class, and they find their bliss in those moments at Pebble Beach or wherever they go, and they're looking and they're watching their kid go in the ocean and coming out, and they go like, how could it get better than this? And they're right. Me, I'm down in Memphis on Beale Street, just about to open for Kev Mo. I go out and do my bit, and in between a song, like you saw my stand-up. I'm not a great stand-up. I'm not a great singer, but I'm a pretty darn good entertainer. And when I hit something and that audience roars and I have timing and I see that laugh go all the way to the back wall and like a wave come all the way up to the front of the stage, and now it's time for me to say the next line, that's my baby coming out of the water.
And maybe it's all the da still
yes, it
there.
Is.
It's still...
And by the way, that guy who's in Pebble Beach with his family, he's the one who's sitting in the audience going, thank you. I needed this.
Wow. So it's the give and take. It's the different roles. We can't all be bakers. We can't all be
chemists. It's the circle of life, my friend. I'm an entertainer. I'm the circus clown.
But do you feel in a way imprisoned by that a little bit or not?
No.
You wouldn't want it any other way.
Because my bliss comes when I'm writing and I go, oh, wow, you just took this from this thought and this from this idea, and they came together, and bliss. Like I don't need that. That's my rush. That's my drug now. That's seeing a baby come out of the womb for me.
If Lorne Michaels called you and said, we need a new 60-year-old type guy, he's going to play the older guy on our show, and this is going to be your new role, you'd love that. You'd still go. You want that.
I'd say I'm downstairs. But by the way, Joe, a lot of the stuff I did, I created. Like I created like shows for the National Lampoon. So I create, I will create the fun. Like if I want to be, I'll write a Broadway show. I'll go get the investors. Like you just have to, the Sylvester Stallone story is still one of the greatest in the world.
Yes.
He wrote it. They said, we want somebody else. He goes, no,
Yeah.
it's mine. He knew. And he believed in himself. Let me tell you one thing about Chris Barnes. He still believes in himself. Okay. I'm just not as manic about it. And I'm not willing to, it's not at the expense of injuring somebody else or a relationship anymore. It's like either it works or it doesn't work. And this is what I do. I'm in my own skin. I'm in my own truth. And you know what? Age has taught me? It's none of my business what you think of me. It's really none of my business.
There's the best line. I love it. What you think of me is none of my business. A buddy told me that years ago. That's great.
Yeah, it was me.
Well, some people live for the comments on Facebook. They want to see what others think about their picture, their stance.
Right.
You say that's the wrong way.
Well, I don't say that's the wrong. I'm on Facebook more than I'm obsessive Facebook guy. But for me, it's my personal network for promoting my stuff, which you have to do. You have to be a self-promoting narcissist if you're an entertainer.
Yeah,
you're a self-promoting narcissist. Yeah. It's like a swimmer when he jumps in the water. I got to move the arms.
I love it. So,
or you drown.
But you come off to me as this guy who reboots and reinvents yourself at
yes.
I don't want to say failure, but at each
precipice. Each
yeah.
And that's everybody. And that's everybody, by the way.
But not the guy who put in 30 years with this federal job. He's not doing that. He's taking the safe road and he's not reinventing himself. So that's not every guy.
No. I'm sorry. I mean, that's every entertainer.
Oh, okay.
Look at like John Larroquette, who won like 7 Emmys. He still has to reinvent himself if he wants to get. He's still sitting next to me at an audition. This is this industry is the real balancer, and what age gives you, and what experience gives you, and what sobriety gives you is you finally, because you need the ego to do this stuff, but you also need to be right sized to know what the difference is in your normal life and your creative life. You can't be a hermit and a jerk to everybody else. You have to be right sized and realize that, because a lot of guys in my industry, like Chris Farley, who was a friend of mine and my understudy, they get this check and they go, I'm not worth all this, and it's like, no, you're not. But that just happens to be the industry. Just don't be a jerk over it, get right sized, So I'm finally, I'm over 60 and I'm finally starting to understand it,
So.
But I think that's true. But if you were to go back and read Joseph Campbell in mythology, that's what an elder is. It's the elder who has the wisdom. You don't get wisdom, man. You don't get wisdom when you're 30. You don't get wisdom in your 20s.
You accumulate it with the crow's feet through your life. I love it.
And that's why you don't. Let me tell you, I'll give you, here was a story. Do you remember Jerry Orbach? He was on, he was on the TV show Law and Order, one of those Law and Orders.
Okay. I don't know him, but I know.
But you know him if you saw him. Phenomenal actor. He was in the Fantastics, like the longest running Broadway show. I went to see a Broadway show once. I'm sitting in the audience. The play's going. All of a sudden, Jerry Orbach walks from right off the side of the stage. Okay, so I'm taking my finger, see like that? Just steps onto the stage in front of the audience in character. He gets a standing ovation. I don't know who he is. I don't know what the hell. He didn't say a word yet. He walked out on the stage, stopped, stood stiff. The audience went, because they all know him. They revere him. And I go, I want that. He didn't even do anything yet. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he did. And now I know how he got there. But you know what I mean? But he wasn't 30 years old either, dude. He was in his 60s. And I go, see, that's it. That's what I want. I want to walk out on stage 65, 67, and the house goes down. That's when I can turn to my buddies and go, see?
He's not doing
Still got it. It still works. Yeah. Yeah. I still do that. You know what I mean? So I'm more ambitious now and
But
and
that kind of goes
understand.
with the a great gunslinger doesn't even have to pull out his gun. Is that what that goes with?
Dude,
His
you
reputation.
know, I'm a karate guy. I've been teaching karate. I teach a Zoom karate class every Wednesday. You know, I mean, you know, you should end a fight with your glare. You should be able to end the fight with, and that's in New York City, you know, in New York City, if I'm walking down the street and I see, and somebody looks at me and I look at them, they go, okay, wrong choice. Let me go find somebody, a weaker animal. There's a famous Bushi story where if a samurai comes to kill you, okay, if a samurai shows up to kill you, he's been hired to kill you. He's going to kill you because he's a samurai. That's what he does. The only way to stop this samurai from killing you is to spit in his face. And then he will go and he will put his sword back. He will sheath his sword and he will leave, because a samurai would never kill anybody out of anger.
Whoa.
He only does it because that's what he does. So he will leave. He'll come back and get you, but you will live for another day.
You brought out a different emotion. That's interesting.
So yes, you know, so now it's like, you know, I know why I do this. And whenever I feel myself going out of who I am, whenever I find myself going out of my samurai, I go, we're already in trouble. Stop. Go leave. It's as if I've spit on my own face. You know what I mean? I got to go. This is wrong. You're now in that place again where your ego is taking over, and this can only end up horribly.
Yeah, and the wisdom that you're throwing at me now makes me again just revere you even more, because it's all in there. It's in that skull coming out.
Oh, well, Joe, I will say the one consistent thing about me is I've always been revereable.
Wait, let's get a different view here on the monitor. Here we go.
Okay. That is my video from the Hokum Blues album with Jimmy Vivino, Will Lee, Sean Pelton. Yeah, that's it.
So the latest two incarnations of you, I think, again, I don't do my research, but the Flaming Saddles and the Blues Act, correct?
You nailed it. Flaming Saddles, we had one in LA, 6,000 square feet. We lost that to COVID, a multi-million-dollar business, so that hurts.
Really?
Yeah, the landlord wouldn't work. The rent was over $35,000 a month. You know, so 6,000 square feet. It's hard to sell hot dogs on the corner and keep that going.
But that's going on how many years? That was 3, 4, 5 years ago. More?
6 years. Yeah.
6 years. Did you make tons of money doing that? You had to.
Well, you bring in tons of money and you put out tons of money. You know, sales tax is a ton of money. So, but I had a weekly salary. You know, like, you know, not like the $30,000 a week on a television show or the $100,000 a week, but I had a comfortable salary, you know, from that place. And then we have New York, which we have here in LA, they had no plan. In California, the governor had no plan. Yeah. The city had no plan. Nobody was willing to participate. In New York, we had a governor that had a plan. We had a city that had a plan. We had a community that was willing to abide by the plan. And we had a landlord that was willing to work with us. We had none of that in California. We shut it down, moved on.
Yeah, but Governor Newsom
we'll be back.
had a plan.
Yes, he did, but he had constituents that told him that plan isn't going to work, or you're out. You know what I mean?
Are they both now hiatus / done? How do you run a bar? No.
The New York one the LA one is done. The New York one, we're open right now at 35%. We're doing it, you know, and we're working. We have a landlord who's working with us, and we will, and that will survive. And I'm looking at other cities, you know, another Austin, Atlanta, Palm Springs, you know, we will open more saloons. You know what I mean?
Even though I'm a heterosexual man, if I were to show up in your establishment, would I be considered an attractive older man?
You would be considered an attractive older man that no one would be interested in. because you're not gay. You know what I mean? It's like everybody goes, hey, do those guys hit on you? No, because I'm not, you know.
You can't tell, so maybe I would be approached, and that maybe I'd do that for my ego.
Yes, you would. You would. You would definitely be approached. You would definitely be approached. You would definitely be approached. But you know what? The truth is I would say, would somebody look over and go, he's an attractive man? Absolutely. And because that would be a true statement, whether you are gay or not gay. So it's
that.
just,
but I don't
really
hear that.
no.
I don't hear that from females anymore.
Exactly. So, we love that. We love our bar. We really, really do. And I love the business. And it's been able, allotted me the ability to put a band together, do these albums, do these little micro mini tours. And now I'm coming out with my first all original. So now I'm putting exactly what I did at Second City, what I did at Catch a Ride Star, all the stuff, and with a more level head and a definite routine of maturity and of practice. I'm doing the Seinfeld kind of a way of writing. He has a great book out that really teaches you how to do that. So
is there a Monday through Friday lifestyle for you, or no? Everything's different. Like I imagine.
My routine is pretty organic. We wake up, we meditate 20 minutes every day, every morning. Then we have a Peloton. We get on the Peloton bike and exercise. And then it's all meetings with our managers, managers of the bar, employees, my music industry, my record label, my manager, my PR firm. Then a nice, a lunch, whatever. Then house stuff, what we have to do here. And then, at night, if there's, again, it's on the cameras, the bar, phone calls, making decisions, looking at inventory, lawyers, getting the revenue, paying this bill, sales tax, lawsuits, somebody slipped and fell, that, it's all, but all doable, all great. And, we have I have a blessed, charmed life. I got a great partner. My gal's, she's just the best. And we just do the deal. Look at Joe. I mean, I'll tell you right now, we just got off a phone call last week for a reality show, with a major, I can't say any names, but a major company wants to do a reality show about Jackie and I in the bar and keeping it, keeping it going through the pandemic, So there's always opportunity. And so, you know what I mean? Like there's an example. Yet to come. And there's an example of I do have the same life as the guy who got married and does the same job every year, just with a camera on it. Right? You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't even have a choice in it. It doesn't even matter I'm going to end up where I end up no matter what. It's already been preordained and predestined in many ways, I believe.
And how you said the best is yet to come. I think you had a great life. And when that best happens, you become a global big shot celebrity or whatever it is. Yes. You'll forget about your local Scranton weatherman, won't you? I'll just
to quote Daddy Warbucks from the hit Broadway show Annie. He once said to Annie, "You don't have to be nice to anybody on the way up as long as you don't plan on coming back down." But see, I did come back down, and I still not nice. So would I call you once I'm bigger? Absolutely not. I have no reason to. Now, I would see you on the street and I'd go, "Hey, Joe," just how the interview started. "Belushi, let's get out of here. It's the weather guy with the shorts and the back thing." Well, what do you mean? Who the hell wears shorts in the backyard and when it's snowing out? Doesn't that tell us enough? Let's get out of here. I mean, how sane can he be? Where would this conversation end up going? Joe, I'd be honored to have dinner with you and your lovely wife and your family and your kids, or without it, just you and me. I consider you a good. We just had a great, very spiritual, dynamic conversation.
We really.
And I don't get that often. Yeah.
And it happens to be recorded on Zoom, and we're going to put this on our YouTube channel and audibly. This is going to be on my podcast. So I appreciate your time. Okay. And I think we have to end this somehow uncomfortably.
No, I think we ended it very comfortably.
No, I think we have to end it uncomfortably.
Oh, we have to end it uncomfortably?
Yeah.
Well,
should we take our shirts off?
Oh, no, we're not taking a I mean,
Okay.
what's wrong with you? You know what, Joe? I got to be honest with you. Why, when you start thinking, things get uncomfortable anyway. So let's just not think about how to make this uncomfortable.
Okay, well, how about we end this?
You bringing up uncomfortability is uncomfortable. I mean, see, that's where you were doing so good.
I want to end with these.
And see, then your head tells you have to go one step further.
Oh, you know what? You're exactly right. How about we end with this? We get our dogs and we have them look at each other on the monitor. That should be the ending. And also, what are you looking here?
There's no dogs.
He was right there at your disposal.
Dude, they jump. They're so light. They're 2 pounds and 5 pounds. I don't even know when they leave.
Well, I'm going to get my dog and end it then. But I want to ask you this before you, is there anything you want to pump out there, promote your web, your
No, I'm with my buddy talking.
Oh,
I'm not here. I'm not selling orange juice today, baby. I'm talking with my good friend Joe Snedeker.
God, I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. See, look, I'm realizing something now. See, you can't even end on a nice, soft, lovely note because you think that there doesn't need to be anymore. And that's where my professionalism should teach you something about. You don't need to do that. You are already it. See, Joe, you don't understand how talented you are. That's the problem. You don't need any smoke and mirrors. By the way, I was introduced to you by ABC Hollywood executives, and you didn't even know that. So this is really your day. What is
that stainless steel thing behind you? I don't even know what that is. Is that a coffee maker?
Espresso maker.
Oh, big shot. You know my espresso maker? It's a $35 fryer that you plug in. That's my express maker. I'm like,
well, Joe, when you get a primetime sitcom and you open up a gay country western bar, maybe you can get a Breville thing and get Ethiopian beans. Okay. In the meantime, you work for those monsters over there at WNEP. Who hate me. They won't even let me in the building anymore.
I'm going to get my dog to say goodbye. I don't care whether you like it or not. Here we go.
Okay, man, these coffee beans are
running from. Here we go. This is Jet. We want to say thank you for your time.
Romeo, Dominus.
What are you doing?
Okay.
You have some coffee?
I was looking for those beans. Smell great. They're from Ethiopia.
And first of all, why did you want to do this at 11? Is 9 too early for you? What kind of a lifestyle is that?
Well, like I said, look who came.
Oh, good. Here we go.
Because normally I'm on the spin bike now, and now I'm normally having a meeting with I just move things around, Joe.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time out for us. Because I'm a cyclist, I want you to drop the Peloton and get a real bike and go outside in the real world. That I want to add to.
Well, that would be something. I have friends that do the bike, but I have the motorcycles too, so I like that. But I hear you. But I'll be honest with you. On the Peloton, you have the instructor in front of you, and there's some great instructors, and there's some of the instructors. Jackie says, "How do you choose your instructor?" I said, one word: cleavage. So I need that. I need to be inspired. Like, I don't look at a tree and go, "Let's go 30 more miles." I look at cleavage and go, "Let's do another half hour."
You superficial piece of garbage, you.
Thank you very much. I honor that. I honor that. I don't think so. I think I'm saying, look at what God created. How beautiful. You see a tree. I see cleavage. It's all made by God.
Mammal,
all made by God.
Plant. I'm going to hit the stop recording button. I appreciate you and your time, and I had a great time. You have changed my life, and hopefully a lot of folks listening and watching. You're an inspiration. You're a great American.
You're a great American. God bless you, Joe. I'll see you when I come to town. We can at least go to Krispy Kreme and have a cup of coffee and a donut.
And if you pretend when I text you that you never got it, that's okay with me.
I would never do that. Never.
I would do that to you.
Tell my lovely family at NEP I said hello as well.
I will do that.
All right.
Peace out, my friend.
Peace, brother. Peace out.
Buddy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.